Let's not see the messy bed. um, Good morning. uh, what am I doing here? Oh yes. I'm here to introduce myself as part of this next video. So the other day I got a tooth pulled out. Here it is. So I got a tooth pulled out. Now I haven't had a tooth pulled out since I was younger. So this whole video is actually going to be on teeth health. And I know I've done some good segments on it and gone over, everything, pretty much everything that you can use for your teeth, like, in a societal sense. Say if you're in the bush, maybe you can use a leaf. But, things like neem, coconut oil pulling with turmeric if you need some abrasion. And we went through a lot of different ways to wash your teeth, and I'm going to go re-through them and make this whole video just about the teeth. So there's my tooth. That is the back one there, and in the top jaw, and it was facing down. It was facing like, oh, it was facing this way. No, this way. So it was hitting the second back molar, and the lady said it was an amorphous tooth, but it's kind of like bent a little bit, and apparently it was like pressing in like that with that front edge there against my other back molar, and this has been creating a lot of pain in my jaw for like 5 years now. I don't know, maybe my face looks a little bit asymmetrical right now, still a little bit sore. I keep getting food stuck in there, so I hope that's not going to continue. I'd almost rather have left it in. Look, the tooth itself looks okay. It's got a few little discretions up the top, but no holes in it or anything. Like, it's not a bad tooth. It's just that it was pushing there, and then via that it was creating infection just via pushing like that, apparently. And I can feel the start of brain disease, heart disease, and hip bone disease from 5 years of having these bad teeth. Now I've got to do something about the bottom one, and it's definitely infected. The bacteria like to go through your tooth into your jaw, which is like a buffet of minerals and vitamins and stuff for them. That bone marrow, they love that. So there could be a million different types of bacteria here. So I can't just chew thyme and hope for the best. For thymol, I can't just chew oregano and hope for the best. I really have to go every strategy that I can possibly think of. Oregano, thyme, and rosemary, and etc., etc. And just chew these. I'm going to do things like a clove in some zeolite. I've got a little bit of zeolite left and some cloves in there. And just one clove, maybe twice a day. And I'm just going to turmeric my mouth a lot. Brush well. At the moment, I am back on Colgate toothpaste. I've been off it for several years. Almost the entire 5 years I've been half off it. So did that lead to bad teeth problems? Not really. It did at the start when I was using Gonoderma mangandungi, which is a Gonoderma. It's not reishi. It's not Gonoderma lucidum, but it is a Gonoderma. And Gonoderma mangandungi is in Gonozi toothpaste, which you can buy on the internet. Very expensive these days. When I first got it, it was half the price. It's like $10 a tube now. But it can also be used topically on your skin, and that's how I found out about it from a friend. And she said she didn't even use it for her mouth, but it does say toothpaste on there. However, because it's so healing, because the mushrooms, you sit them on your gums after you brush and do stuff and floss, mushrooms heal your gums back together. And yeah, they've definitely done that for me. When I was younger, I had gum disease. Oh, if you don't know me, I'm the site creator of www.consciousazine.com. Woken up here in the morning, just keen to do this video. So we're going to go into an article from Dr. McCullough on root canals and why not to do it, because this was not a root canal, but kind of like it is. They're basically the things are getting in there. The bacteria are getting to the jaw. I can feel heart pains. Apparently that's usually by streptococcal type bacteria, and indeed when I have thymol, which fights streptococcal, or staph I think that's called, when I have time with thymol, it does definitely hit these guys. And you know, you have parasite connection from there into your stomach, and they keep yelling for sugar and stuff. I've had my own battles with sugar over the last few years. I think, haven't we all? I was doing really well until I got to Uruguay, and I've had sugar this year again. Terrible. It's just everywhere, and there's like barely. It's the food health scene is backward here. They have hydrogenized coconut oil. Um, their goji berries, I feel like they've probably got pesticides on them. I just feel like the food, they don't know what's happening with the health revolution here. I'm really not trying to, you know, pay out on them, but they don't seem to be so up to speed as, say, Australia or America. Anyway, so it's been a weird year being in another country like this too. Anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about. So this tooth, um, well, I've looked into this stuff. The article we're going to go over is a really good one, but what I've found is swallowing my own saliva after I've eaten salads, after I've eaten good stuff. This is what monks do, and it's enzymatical clearing around the body. And so we want to do this to clear with enzymes. So then, you know, it's like getting life into the area. You get water, you get everything can sort of flow into the area when you chi swallow and clear all your energy blocks and stuff in your body. So that's really helped me. So I'm just glad I've finally got this out, because you know, now I can really make an effort to seal the hole, get out any bacteria, and you know, turn over a new page in the book, and just start super duper caring for my teeth. I admit that in the past I really haven't cared for my teeth in some special way like I do these days. I really pay a lot of attention to it, and as usual I feel the universe is pushing us into it. Yeah, law of attraction, this and that, but I've got to say that the universe seems to be happening to us. We're embedded in cycle after cycle after cycle, and if you notice why you awaken to things, think about it. We hit the problem first, then we flip into the solution and the awakening. So I don't think it's all just about law of attraction. That's like a law of attraction to me is a like within context, and I don't mean within. It's like within other contexts. um, so let's not get too spiritual. The definition of spiritual, in my opinion, is being centered in your own light column, and thus not being horizontally made up of other people or here on the flat surface, you know, in the second and third dimension domain. So there's my tooth. Don't suppose you want to see it up close, I guess. um, just let me think if I've got anything else to say. You know, if you've got mercury and stuff, that mercury is, you know, going over the blood-brain barrier and stuff like this, and through the uterus too. So it'll go to your baby and everything. So, and mercury is one of the most toxic things on this planet, mainly, and one of the definitions of that toxicity is that it can cross all the blood-brain barriers and all this business. So if you've got mercury fillings, I remember when I was like 12, I had like 14 of them. But if you've got mercury fillings, you know, you definitely want to get them taken out by like a specialist. And I know it can be expensive, but from what I've researched into mercury, it seems very, very toxic, and it seems to make people sort of become stupid, like in a lackadaisical stupor. And other mental functions. It probably contribute to Alzheimer's and all that business as well. Intercept the amyloid B and that receptor there, and probably Parkinson's too. I haven't looked into that so much, but anyway. So, hello everyone, and I just wanted to show myself again at the start of the video, and now we're going to go into the Amalgamated Maximum Novelty Health page, I believe, where I've put the tooth healing post, or how to take care of your teeth post, and that'll take a while to talk through, but not that long. And then I wanted to go through Dr. McCullough's article, or maybe we should do that first. So we're going to switch to that. Luckily I've got my OBS so I can just switch straight to it. So we're going to just go to what's so bad about, oops, way up there for, what's so bad about root canal. Oh sorry, I've got to change it onto the screen. 1 second. There you go. Should be able to see my screen now. And here's the article that I found. Okay, so we're not going to really go into what a root canal is and stuff. The point is, it doesn't have to be due to a root canal. You know, it doesn't have to be due to a root canal operation or anything. But it can be anyway. If you've got, we're just going to skip to if you have bacteria in your mouth, and then we're going to go basically straight past the root canal. That's like just one sort of way I think we can get this infection, or these infections. Okay, so there was a guy called Weston A. Price. Some people call him the world's greatest dentist. I don't know. Price discovered that it's mechanically impossible to sterilize a root canaled tooth. Now, here's interesting things. One day, he recommended to a woman wheelchair bound for 6 years to have her root canal tooth extracted, even though it appeared to be fine. She agreed, so he extracted her tooth and then implanted it under the skin of a rabbit, the diseased tooth. The rabbit amazingly developed the same crippling arthritis even, as the woman and died from the infection 10 days later. So that's the thing. There's new theories about arthritis, you know, it's like nanobacteria, and it's like a coral reef build-up in our ocean of our body. So if you don't know about that, you could look into people like David Wolfe and his talks on that. I'm not sure who else is even talking about arthritis like that yet. I'm sure they will, but who is yet? I'm not sure. Anyway, Dr. Some guy, Menig, a native of Chicago, was captain, blah blah blah. So he published a book and furthered the work of Dr. Price. Yeah, so your teeth, the outer enamel, are actually the hardest substance in your body. And on the side of my tooth right now, I've got a little bit of a chip in another tooth. Apparently from just a fracture. I don't know from what. But yeah, I don't think from chewing anything. It just somehow chipped the side of my tooth. So even that, I can feel now, if I eat honey or anything sugary, I feel the little, you know, it gets sucked up the tooth, go to these little idiot bacteria, go up to my temple, my brain, then my heart, and then that's about the main gist of it. They're starting to go down to my hip. So what's going on with this is that once they get in the pulp chamber, you're kind of done for. Once they're in there, they just love that stuff. It's soft living, and they just, you know, eat it up. It's not like they eat the enamel of your tooth. So anyway, and then the roots of each tooth descend into your jawbone, and they're held in place by a periodontal ligament. So each of your teeth, you know, is amazing. We're not going to go into how amazing the teeth are. They're connected to, you know, your meridians, your cerebrospinal fluid, and everything. So your teeth are very important. I heal my stress a lot with my teeth, just by pressing them, and I don't think that's how I got the splinter, because I don't press that tooth. But I press some of my teeth together a little bit, not hard, just together while I'm meditating a lot, especially the front ones, for clearing that frontal channel from, you know, the forehead down, not up the back, the governor channel, as part of the microcosmic orbit of energetic body movement around the human body. Anyway, microscopic organisms regularly move in and around these tubules like gophers in the underground tunnels, in the little tubules in your tooth. When a dentist performs a root canal, they hollow out the tooth, they fill a hollow chamber, which cuts off the tooth from its blood supply, so fluid can no longer circulate through the tooth. This is during a root canal, but the maze of tiny tubules remains, and bacteria, cut off from their food supply, hide out in these tunnels where they are remarkably safe from antibiotics and your own body's immune defenses. The root cause of much disease, oral bacteria for sure. This is what I'm trying to get across to you guys, that I didn't realize it was such a big deal, but it leads to this, and I'm feeling this firsthand. You know, heart, kidney, bone, and brain. What I'm feeling is up into my temple and down into my heart, and slightly beginning on my hip. Now, it's got to do with me more than just physical. For me, it's I've got that channel down, that meridian or something is down due to a nerve in my neck, which is a nerve that I should be healing every day, which is hard. Every day I've got to release that I'm guilty, because I'm a forefront, cognitive scout of our species. Everybody labels you guilty, even if they don't say it, they subconsciously insinuate, even by blowing you off. If you say something smart and they don't understand, they put you as guilty. In many, many ways, people put me as guilty, and I feel this as a sensitive on my nerve ganglions. That's what they're for, to feel what you're thinking. It's part of telepathy. So with my nervous system, I'm trying to see what you're thinking, and often I'm put as guilty, and I get frustrated also, and the frustration is on the front of the neck, the guilt is on the side of the neck, and so these two channels have been part of my infection in my mouth to my left side. Okay, so it has to be noted that this stuff does stem from energetic irregularity, or energy blocks, we call them. So yeah, just bacteria in the tooth can lead to heart, kidney, bone, and brain disease, and trust me, because I can feel it. And all it is to me right now is not like I'm going demented or something. I'm not losing much cognitive function that I can tell at all. What's happening to me is rather that it just feels like a density there, and I constantly have to clear the area, and which is clearing their colonies, the bacterial colonies. And how I know this is because there's a thick mucoid bunch, or let's call it a thick bit of, spit or phlegm in that area, and it starts to harden actually. And we have all these funguses in our body, and they start to harden. And I'm not going to do that research for you today, but you should research all these funguses living on our skin and stuff. It's the reason you get burnt in the sun. You don't get burnt just naturally, and you do, but they really don't like the sun, and they're a huge reason why a lot of people are getting overburnt and too often burnt, and very sensitive. That's the thing. When you're very sensitive to the sunlight, it's those little critters under your skin not enjoying it. Anyway, so I know that I'm removing these colonies, because as I raise my vibration and I clear each meridian, chakra, etc., we have, 72,000 nadis, or little chakras in our body. So as I clear everything out, and I go towards prana, I start with chi, because that's fifth dimensional, and I work my way through Reiki and Diksha and all this to the 10th dimensional prana, living love light. The prana is the love light, not the light. Chi is like the light, and prana is like the yellow love. Anyway, so when I do this, I suddenly, say after an hour, half an hour, like a big clump of like phlegm that's thicker than the rest of the phlegm now in my mouth from meditating, from getting Amrita on my tongue, from my tooth vibrations, from the third eye. Amrita and Amaranth, these are two energies. And I've got Amrita right now. Amrita is like a type of crystalline higher energy. Amaranth is like a fog, and a very sort of loving, foggy energy. So you can get these pulling in through your third eye, and you do microcosmic orbit meditation. and we get Amrita and Amaranth on our palate of our tongue. I've got it right now. It tastes beautiful. It just tastes like, it doesn't have a taste particularly. It tastes like watery mouth and lightening and thinning of your mucosa membrane. And you definitely seem to raise in vibration accordingly. Now, as I raise in vibration accordingly, I feel these random clumps. For instance, I'll push my chi swallows, very thorough swallowing your spit down and pushing it around your body, on your, your body cavity and through your lymph system and stuff. So when you do a chi swallow like this, I push it, say, to my heart, because it's got the dense feeling there. I know that's those little guys having a fiesta. The bacteria are having a fiesta on the sugar that I've eaten 2 days ago, a day ago, 3 days ago, bloody hell. So they're having their little fiesta, and then I've got to push through that density, and that's them. And then suddenly, like glunk, like when you do a glunk swallow, it's like suddenly this mass of glump of phlegm will remove itself from the area, and then you'll get your thin, nice new spit or phlegm there. Your nice, Amrita, Amaranth spit. It's very nice and fluid, and it's not very thick and clumpy anymore. So that's what I've noticed, that, and that will help you with candida and noticing the amorphous nature of candida turning, to one sugar to the other sugar to the next sugar. It could be going from a sweetener sugar to a refined sugar to a baked potato sugar, which Harvard reckons is the worst type anyway, to starch from rice. But the thing is, they're all sugars, and that the candida, appear to be amorphous, and they will change their sugar intake. So you're never fully rid of them until you stop all sugar, and you've got to do dry fast for a while. 21 days, something like that. Then don't get back onto the sugar. Then you start your new lifestyle of figuring out how to not take in barely any sugar. So, energy healing can really help your teeth. Look, I always get that feeling of anxiety run through my teeth. And then I'm pressing on them and stuff, and that's reflexologically healing you as well. But hey, do all this while you're grounded, so you actually release the positive charge, because otherwise it sort of seems to not release from your body fully. If you're not grounded and you meditate, you don't release all the positive charge. It stays on you like a shell beneath the surface. What I've seen in my third eye is that when we degress and go inward, onward, and upward, and we go within, I didn't say digress, I just meant, go within, degress. I don't know, I made up a word. When we go within, it would appear that we bust through layers, or these round circles, which you could think of as layer masks. They're like balls within yourself. It's like a ball of opaque light ball. It's a sphere, opaque, and you bust through one after another, and you go deeper and deeper within yourself. And what I noticed, this is frequency control breaking. I didn't know that for a long time, and then I realized it. I'm breaking through my own frequency controls, and this happens vividly on cannabis. And then I've noticed on the way out, and so what happens is, as you go through each sphere, I've noticed that the opacity is lowered, like a layer mask in Photoshop. So you reduce the opacity and you can see through it. Exactly the same with the sphere. As you go through it, it seems to become from 100% opaque and not see-through to, say, 10% opaque and almost fully see-through. However, on the way back out, say you're coming down from your meditation inside yourself, or your psychedelic trip or whatever, I've noticed this everywhere, and it's part of the inward journey. What happens is that you come out through these spheres of yourself, which seem to me to be almost frequency controls, and so you might think you're going from your higher self to your lower self through barriers of consciousness or something as well. It appears to be like that. Anyway, so when you come back out, I've noticed is they all sort of squash together and lift to the surface, and they've all got positive charge. However, remember you've brought 100% to 10% of the opacity on each veil, we'll call it, each veil sphere, and on each veil sphere you sort of they remain behind you as you come back out, you know, to the surface, to your body, out of the trip, so to speak, out of the journey inward. What happens is these spheres seem to squash together. However, they're now at only 10% opacity, and they squash together. And if they're, say, at 10% instead of 2%, they don't come off you. And the opacity has a lot to do with the, or pretty much all to do with the, not all to do, but has something to do with the positive charge. I could tell because when I would go outside and ground, I could expel these spheres, and actually they would fly out my third eye too. So it was like I could fully release that charge. So I don't know 100% for sure if that's connected just to positive charge or if I'm experiencing something else as well. I think it could be barriers through time as well. I've got to inspect this more. Anyway, the point is that you need to be grounding while you do it. I noticed that through several means, and that was one means which I noticed that through. So energy healing and healing your meridians is going to go a long way to healing your teeth, trust me. The Buddhists I will agree with when they say you can remove 75 to 90% of all the bacteria in your body just by breathing correctly. And I'd err on the caution side of 75%, but I'd definitely agree with that percentage, you know, roughly. Because when you breathe, you can seem to expel so much of your pain, and I know most of the pain is caused by these little bacterias, the parasites, whatever's in us, and the positive charges associated with them anyway. So, you know, look, you're going to get all sorts of things. Look, a relationship between root canals and breast cancer even. A high correlation, extremely high correlation even. Isn't that interesting? So Dr. Jones claims the toxins from the bacteria in an infected tooth or jawbone are able to inhibit the proteins that suppress tumor development. So if you've got these bacteria in your jawbone, you may be more susceptible to cancer. So I've really got to get to treating this really well. A German physician reported similar findings. Joseph Isels reported that in his 40 years of treating terminal cancer, 97% of his cancer patients had root canals. Wow. So there you go. Almost all of them had root canals, all his cancer patients. That's interesting. Good bugs gone bad. So here's a list. I'm definitely going to be looking into those. Okay. They found bacterial contamination in 100% of samples of root canals tested. So all root canals had bacterial infection. They identified 42 different species of anaerobic bacteria. So anaerobic means they don't like air, living in absence of air, yeah. Sample housing between 19 to 53 types. So 19 to 53 types of bacteria in their samples. So these are probably the main ones they found, I guess. Are these just benign, ordinary mouth bugs? Absolutely not. 4 can affect your heart, 3 can affect your nerves, and I can feel that. 2 can affect your kidneys. Luckily, I can't feel that one. 2 can affect your brain. I think maybe I might not even have that one. I might just have the one that is affecting my nerves going into my brain, but I'm not sure. And 1 can infect your sinus cavities, so I've probably got that one. I've always had bad sinuses too. So they are anything but friendly. Yeah, it's not good to leave a dead body part in your body. Very, very bad idea, leaving a dead tooth in your body. That's why I got my tooth pulled out too. I thought, just get rid of it now. I won't even ask for any other. Well, I did. I sort of was like, well, there's anything else you can do, but they can't really do it. They're not going to sit there with a file and file down my tooth. It was a kind of an awkward tooth. I had to get it removed, and it was causing trouble anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do about the bottom one. It's a really big molar, and I'm not sure if I should get it removed. I mean, it's causing a lot of pain also, so I think I probably will. But you know, I'm just not sure, and I know they're connected through my stomach through meridians, so if you get rid of your tooth, that means you get a desensitization in that area of the reflexological connection. For instance, now that that back upper tooth is missing that I've got pulled out, I can feel that going down somewhere in my body. It feels like down to the intestine, and it feels like I can't press that now. So in other words, I can't use that reflexological channel anymore from that one tooth. Luckily, I've got all my other teeth, so when you press the left tooth there, or that tooth there, or the different tooth there, whichever tooth you press, they'll all go different meridian channels, different reflexological channels, sorry, not meridian. They'll go different reflexological channels. So your front tooth might be connected to your heart, your left tooth might be connected to your big toe. And then when you press on that tooth, you'll notice that in the area that it connects to reflexologically, if you're very sensitive, you'll subtly feel the subtle energy like leaving. You're pushing off your positrons, and you're trying to center yourself and push off the energy block from the inside out. And that's kind of what reflexology is, and reflexological healing, you know, body electrics. So if you're missing one tooth, you're missing that body electric channel. So I'm not happy about that, but you know, we age and this is what happens. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to show on that. Now let's go to consciousazine.com. So we're going to go now to my website here, and the Amalgam and Maximum multi-health page. Alright, let's see here. Okay, wrong page. Oh no, here it is. So look, here's a cool post also from David Wolf's website. Yeah, he's one of my favourite in the health movement. I think he's doing a good job. So he has a little thing you can buy there from Longevity Warehouse. I haven't bought that one yet. But look, there's all sorts of things. Tea tree, thyme, linalool, you know, you got neem, sea buckthornberry, rose otto. Here's my little post on it anyway. In my opinion, you ultimately want to brush like with florals like neem and stuff like that for sure. You know, not Colgate, and coconut oil is good, and stuff like that, baking soda and all that. And turmeric, you know. But the point is, you want to use what you need to use on that day. I need to get the time or the temporal factor in. No one ever talks about temporal factors, or not enough, in my opinion. It's great to say what you can use, but people seem to love routines and always want to ask me how, what, when, where, why. You know, that people want to know like more specifics. So what I'm going to tell you guys is, one day you might use Gonoderma because your gums are receding. Now, even due to that, you might still use coconut oil and turmeric or baking soda or something beforehand. But then you might, you know, sort of lean on that day the emphasis more Gonoderma use or more mushroom use. That day you might need fresher breath, so you might lean more on the bicarb and peppermint or something. My point is that each day is different, and people are different as well. Each body is different, so we need to just be looking at what we need that day, and brush with and clean your mouth with what you need that day. Hey, pretty much, yeah, every day it's a good idea to use a tongue scraper. I don't have one, but I want one. It's a good idea to floss every day. These sort of things, yeah, obviously, do it every time, you know, or pretty much every time. But you might not want to use the same brushing ingredients every time. Firstly, because it's untested, we just don't know. If you use Gnozi for 50 years, will your teeth fall out? Nobody knows. So that's why we want to take it easy, you know? And we want to change. We don't just want to stay on one thing. Not even Colgate, no. Dentists, no. That's wrong. It's an antibiotic. You're just going to keep killing everything in your mouth. So if you don't, really brush 2-3 times a day, you're fucked. And even if you do brush 2-3 times a day with Colgate, well then you're ruining your bacteria in your stomach, where 85% of your what? Your immune system sort of is. A lot of your immune system has to do with your stomach. I wouldn't say 85%, but a lot of it. It's just what they're saying out there, 85%. That's why I repeated it like a sheeple. But, a majority of your immune system, a lot of it is orchestrated to do with your gut and the microbiome in your gut. So, look, there's lots in here. Look, here's other ingredients for this one tincture I once found in Australia. That was a good tincture. I liked that one. That was really nice. So there, immortelle oil, grapefruit oil. But down here, little list of teeth and gum helpers. Propolis, yeah, well, that's, the stuff they feed to the queen bee. You can put that, if it's non-alcoholic tincture, on your skin and watch it just like heal a cut in hours. So that will heal your gums right up. Neem, it's like antifungal, antibacterial sort of stuff. So that's really a whole mouth clean. Rose otto, you're going to get high vibration from rose. Rose is the highest vibration flower on the planet, or highest vibrational oil that you can get, rose oil. Coconut charcoal, that's going to remove things, that's going to go in there and scrape out things, even maybe bacteria and pathogens, and they sort of get caught on it and it'll chelate things through you, pull things through you. Turmeric, I've noticed that makes my gums really smooth and my teeth super smooth. Turmeric at the moment is my favourite for cleaning my mouth, just rubbing a bit with my finger on my gums during the day. That's where I'm at, and I chew on cinnamon sticks. I get canela, the good variety of cinnamon. Luckily they have that in Uruguay here. I get a little stick, I break it up into smaller sticks so they're like little toothpicks, and I sit and chew on these little cinnamon toothpicks all the time. Not all day. I might have, I don't know, 3 in a day, 2 in a day, might have 5 in a day. I'll just chew on them randomly. Oregano, that's obviously going to go in there and, numb your mouth, especially if it's, very strong and or raw, or the raw plant. It has that anesthetic effect, so it can help you with tooth pain. Licorice can help you with pain as well. Sea buckthornberry, not familiar with it, not sure what it does. I think it's anti-viral and antifungal. Mastic, not sure. Cardamom, have not worked with it. Clove is like a power bomb, and that one will kill some of your bacteria. Same with thyme and oregano. Now the gonoderma is going to, mushrooms heal things, and it's going to heal your gums. It's going to pull your gums together and tighten them up. Coral calcium will actually help your actual teeth enamel, the hard part, the outer part of your teeth. Pearl calcium the same. Peppermint's going to be for flavour. Clay is kind of going to be like coconut charcoal and remove things. It's going to pull out pathogens and some bacteria. Myrrh oil, well, that's a bomb. I showed that in one of my videos, powerful product presentation, or one other video. I had myrrh oil. Oh man, that stuff lasted me like a whole year for a 30ml bottle, and the myrrh oil is super strong, and that's just going to kill the bacteria like a good little bomb. Frankincense, I can't remember. It will kill some bacteria too, but it's not like myrrh. Myrrh is just hectic. It's strong. Bicarb soda, well, that's going to create the pH balance. We want in our mouth slightly alkaline balance in our mouth. In our stomach, however, we want a slightly acidic stomach content, so you don't really want to swallow everything that you're brushing your teeth with. Heads up to my parents who are swallowing this toothpaste because it kind of says you can, and I showed it to them, but you shouldn't really swallow it all the time. Sometimes yes, but we don't know if it has a foaming agent in it. It could have a foaming agent. It doesn't appear to really foam up much, but I can't really tell. It could just be my saliva foaming it up, so I'm not sure. So to be on the safe side, don't just swallow it every time, Mum and Dad, if you ever see this video. Um, Apple cider vinegar, well, you know that, yeah, it's going to foam up the bicarb and can do a little bit of plaque removal. Cod liver oil, huh. Oh yeah, reverses cavities, that's right. Because it's got the vitamin K2 and the D3. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good little trick. And obviously we'd do that before you brush, before you do any of this other stuff. That would be a stripper. Oh no, that's a builder. You could even do it after. Yeah, after you brush. It's building it up because it's building with the vitamins. Yeah, your teeth are connected to cerebrospinal fluid, so that's why, and your meridians, so that's why energy healing does come into the picture. And how do I energy heal? Well, you push the energy around your body, and when you get to that stage, you push your energy out through your teeth, and you'll actually like get bad breath taste. You'll actually be able, when you push your air out through your teeth, and yes, literally out through the microtubules in your teeth, you can do that. You're the energy master of your entire body. You'll actually get like a bad breath. And I mean, not just from the back of your throat. Try and push through your actual teeth. Very subtly, pushing out energy from your teeth. Now, if you hit something, like I just hit something there and had to crack my neck by moving my neck back and forth real, just, you know, crack, crack, crack. Really quickly I move my neck. That I do. And that's just, you know, pushing it through. However, that's chiropractics. And chiropractics is the last part of the healing of anything, especially a joint. That's the crude end of things. You're cracking it through. What we want to do is move that joint fluid and stuff like that through subtly with energy healing. And just subtly by sitting there and doing things slowly and softly. You know, when we're chiropracting ourselves and cracking things, that's the unsubtle end and the opposite, and you're going to do more damage as well. So, there it is. I think we went through pretty much that list, yeah. Flaxseed can also inhibit some of Lyme disease bacteria found in some people's root canals. Okay. Then there's this tongue scraper, which I want to get one day. And, oh yes, finally, on healthy teeth, there's been found biofilm on the outside of even your enamel. And what this biofilm is the good bacteria. And these are the guys, this is your first line of defense, and this is the main focus. Everything else needs to be perfect, and then we need to be built up to this point. Then this is the asymptote. This is the asymptotic piece, the piece de resistance. No, the asymptotic piece, you know, the asymptote, it means, you know, like the gold capstone on a pyramid has a different function and is super special compared to the other stones of the pyramid. So the biofilm is like that, it's the asymptote. Like the shaman is the asymptote in humanity, not the scientist. Boom boom, sorry. So the biofilm's the asymptote, and said me, shaman Dr. Cowenberg. And what you want to do is have a live culture almost every day. Now, there's a lot of people who are not into the dairy thing in the health movement, and they're saying drop meat, drop dairy, then you'll feel better. These are most likely mostly vegan people, but there's a lot of vegetarians, or just a lot of people are saying this, and it's a generalized, really good rule of thumb to begin on your health by dropping meat and dropping dairy. However, after we're really healthy, or we're reasonably healthy, it's okay to eat some dairy products, especially if they're beneficial, like yogurts. Not with sugar in them. No yogurt with sugar, ever. Don't do it. If it looks like it might have sugar, just put it back because it's probably got sugar. There's one that I always used to talk about, Jalna, but only the biodynamic flavor. So the flavor was not strawberry or chocolate, which would be clearly, artificial crap flavoring, fake food. It wouldn't even be real chocolate cacao in there, most likely. So what we're looking for is something that has no sugar flavor, no flavor yogurt, or biodynamic as the flavor. That means it was biodynamically farmed. Rudolf Steiner's method, the best farming method it can go through if they did it properly. It was pot set, and it's Jalna. It's called Jalna yogurt, and only the biodynamic flavored one. The others have sugar. So if you get something like that, or when I went into a health shop, I found one yogurt one time with 5 different cultures. You know how there's, bifidum, well, I don't even know my culture names. There's the one with the C, the bifidum, lactobacillus, those, all the common yogurt cultures most of you will know. One time I found five in one. So that was in a health shop, and that's the type of yogurt I'm talking about, and that will create a biofilm on your teeth. And that's the asymptotic end of it, and that's the the end of it. Uh, it's the capstone, yeah, perfectly said. It's like it caps it all off. So you do everything else, but then in the end, to get that biofilm, there's one thing you can do, the yogurt. Okay, so this is Benjamin Cowberg from www.consciousazine.com, and thanks for donating, Anthony, and thanks, guys. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and enjoy. Feel free to share. Oh wait, I'm not using Snagit. Okay.